All right, so you are going to be starting a project today that will take you probably through tomorrow. And it is going to be a project based on how well you can place fossils in the geologic record based on their absolute age. Okay? So, first thing I want to do is I want to show you this page right here. It's 135. Okay? You will find the project in Schoology week 16 folder. Now, this page in your book, page 135, is going to be very important. And I'm going to show you how to do the project. You're going to want to have this out so that you can refer to it. Okay? But before we get into this page, I want to show you something. You know how if we have a year worth of time, let's let this be 1 year's worth of time. This is 1 year. A lot happens in a year. So if you're trying to tell someone, hey, meet me at this place at this time, we don't stop at a year and say, hey, meet me in 2022. We break this year up into smaller, more manageable time chunks because it's easier to deal with time when it's in smaller chunks. Well, how many days are in a year, right? 365. Well, first what we do is we break a year down into months, right? So we break them down into these more manageable pieces. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, 12 months. But now what are you going to tell somebody? These are months now. Meet me in December. Well, when, right? So what do we do still? We further break down these months into weeks. All right. So now we've got months that are broken down further into weeks. And then you have these weeks that are broken down into days. And we can go, hours, minutes, seconds. But here's kind of the deal. When we talk about time, and humans have only been around for a brief period of the geologic time that we are understanding, that we're aware of. When we break down time, we break down a year into months, weeks. Weeks are in here. And days. Okay? Well, that's how we as humans break down just 1 year of time. Well, what if you're a geologist and you're not concerned with 1 year? You're concerned with hundreds of millions of years or even billions of years. You're never going to get to months, weeks, and days because you have so many of these you're trying to keep track of. What do you do now? What do you do now? Well, you do this. Okay, this is page 135. All right? First, what we might call the biggest unit of time, what we might think of as the year, what we call a year, the biggest unit of time we're normally concerned with. Geologists, the biggest unit of time they use is one called an eon. Eons are hundreds of millions of years long in a lot of cases. Okay? Well, how do we break down just one hundreds of millions of year chunk? Well, we call those eras. And these are smaller chunks of time, but even these could be tens of millions of years long. So it's almost like we're looking at, in our terms, we've broken up a very long period of time into months. So eons are like years to us. Eras are like months to us. But we can break down, geologists have broken down eras into this word periods. And a period for us is like breaking a year down, not only into months, but into weeks. Now we're starting to zero in on a specific period of time where something is happening. So a time period. And the period is where we're going to spend our focused time in this project. Because you're going to be given a list of organisms that have lived throughout these really long time spans. And the goal is for you to be able to research each one of these organisms and find out not what eon it first showed up in the rock record, not the first era it showed up, but the first period. Okay, now this is why 135 is so important. The time periods. Okay, here are the names of the time periods. Okay, you go back all the way to right here. Let's start right here with that mark. Okay, the periods are found right in this center column. Here is where the periods are found. Anything, now this is vertical, okay, so that means you know, it's labeled like this because if you go down in the stack, you're getting further back in time. You're getting older and older and older and older. If you are finding yourself closer to the top of the stack, right, these numbers are getting smaller, which means millions of years ago. This is only 2.6, 23 million years ago, 66 million years ago, and you get all the way down to 541 million years ago. All right, so the deeper you go down in the stack, the older you get. Okay, anything older than this, 541 million years ago, we are just going to call it, scratch that out, you don't need it. We're going to call anything older than that, we're going to call the Precambrian. Now, if you've got something slightly younger but older than this, we're going to call that the Cambrian period. Okay? Then you've got the Ordovician period, Silurian period, Devonian, Carboniferous, Permian, Triassic, Jurassic, Cretaceous. Then our last book publisher did something with this word, and I think it's good to use it in this case. We're not going to pay attention to the Neocene and the Paleogene. We're going to call both of these things, and it's actually, is it up here? Is it on here? I don't see, no, they don't have it listed. We're going to call both of these the Tertiary period. And this is what a lot of geologists use because that boundary that we learned about, that KT boundary, happens right here. The K is a symbol for the Cretaceous period. The T is a symbol for the Tertiary period. So that dinosaur extinction happened right here. The KT boundary. And the T stands for this period of time right here that we're going to call the Tertiary period. So you're going to work with words. Anything older than 541 million years, we're going to call that the Precambrian. And you'll use these words for time periods through your project. And if you get anything newer than 2.6 million years old, that's the Quaternary period. Really, that's the period that we're in right now. See, Quaternary period, that's the top period. That's the one we're in right now. Okay? So working through this project, when you get a list of organisms and you're going to try to look up, you're going to research, where did these organisms first show up in the rock record? We're going to look for the name of their time period when they first showed up. So these are the words you're going to use as you're looking through these organisms. Now let me show you where to find these in Schoology. Okay? You will need to go to assignments you will scroll, spin that wheel of savings. Savings! Go to week 16. All right, here it is. Interactive Geologic Timeline. Click there. It will tell you you have 3 attempts. Okay? This is an individual project, individual assignment. You are on your own. Don't bother anybody else. Okay? But here's how you do it. Start attempt. All right. Here's the first question, and it's the first organism. You will have 17 in total. Okay? Here's what you do. Research this organism to find out when it first appears in the fossil record. Remember, we're looking for the names of the time period, not eon, not era, time period. Okay? Then correctly match it to the right time period. Okay? Down here, I've made it simpler for you. I've given you 4 possibilities. Only one of these is right. What's the organism? The Dimetrodon. Okay, here's what I would do. No, you can't move it. I'm finna type that word. I'm gonna type that word into a Google search. Dimetrodon. There we go. Dimetrodon. Boom. All right. Now, let's see. It should be, here it is. Dimetrodon. Wikipedia. Fine. Go there. I don't mind. Now, the cool thing about Wikipedia when they're not asking you for money, I don't. Okay. The cool thing about Wikipedia is right over here on the right, when you type these in, if you'll find them here, look what they do. They give you, see that? Look at that, Precambrian. See that? And that symbol means the Cambrian. And that symbol means the Ordovician. And that means Silurian. And that means Devonian. I wonder where you have heard these words before. Okay, Wikipedia gives you the geologic timeline right here. And you see that little green box. Right there is where the organism first shows up in the fossil record. And right there is the last time that organism shows up in the fossil record. Okay? So what is that little area right here of the time period geologic record? What time is that? That's the Permian. So if I go back here, oh, look at that. I just found that the Dimetrodon first shows up in the rock record right there at the very start of this green box. And all of that green box happens to be in the Permian, but the front of the green box, or the part furthest to the left, is what you're looking for. Because this is listed horizontally, not vertically. Precambrian is the oldest. Okay, and you go up here, and they call this the Neogene. That's the upper tertiary, late quaternary, whatever. This is the newer stuff. This is the younger. This is the older. So where did it first show up? It first shows up old, and then it gets younger, and then it dies out into the rock record. So it starts right here. In other words, it's in the Permian time period. So this is where I grab the Permian, drop it in there, and I move on to the next question. Okay? Early dinosaurs, early dinos. I'm going to go back here. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to search early dinosaurs, right? And what do I mean by search early dinosaurs? Early dinos, I got to spell it right, in the fossil record. That's how I would search. Okay? The earliest known dinosaurs to show up in the fossil record, right? Represent the oldest dinosaurs. Yep. Earliest dinosaurs. Known relative to the earliest dinosaurs. 10 million years further back in time. 240 million years old. 243. Okay. Sometimes they'll give you the name of the time period. And sometimes they'll just give you 243 million years old. Or in other words, what time period was 243, move me, 243 million years ago? Okay? It's probably going, you're probably going to see it right here. Where does 243 million years ago fall? Now, I'm not going to tell you because you can see it for yourself. If they give you the number, look at that. If in your search they give you a number of years, look at that. Your textbook gives you the number of years right here. Just match it to what the name of that time period is. Click and drag the name of the time period, and you're all done. Okay? You're going to do this for 17 organisms. You're going to do your best. You're going to click submit, and it's going to tell you how you did. You get 3 attempts. That's probably 1 attempt too many, but all right. You get 3 attempts. This is a quarter 3 grade, but there's no reason why you can't get a 34 out of 34. Okay? All right. This is a solo mission. You get your computer, you lock in, and you are on your way. All right? Okay. Good luck.